As you can see, we're doing something a little bit different today. The guests on our show are going to say things that are probably going to offend a lot of people. You see, they are young racists. Their families are here to confront them about their feelings and maybe try to get them to change before it's too late. Now, I think we all know that whenever we do shows about such a volatile subject as racial prejudice, that people tend to voice their opinions very loud and very clear.
Every time we can go. Don't nobody gotta jump you, man.
Intimidate by you.
You's a nut, man.
Take off your jacket now. Take off your hat. Take off your glasses. Make yourself feel at home. I ain't no fool, lady.
Who the hell do you think you are?
Before we let the audience, or even the other guests, into the studio, I think it's important to let these boys explain how they feel and why. So let me introduce 16-year-old Michael, and this is 20-year-old Danny and 21-year-old Mark. Danny, tell me how you feel about black people.
I cannot stand. I've been stabbed in the back. I've been beat up on. I've been pushed around. And I cannot stand the fact to think that a black man, which I consider because I am racist, that my wife cannot walk out of the house without wondering, going to jump her, going to do this, or is going to steal from her. And I just can't stand the fact that thinks that a white person has to be intimidated by him. And me, standing up for the white race, I'm not intimidated, no matter who it is. And as I look at it, don't have any morals at all.
Well, I use the word racist. Did that offend you?
No.
You think of yourself as a racist?
No.
You don't?
I don't think I'm a racist.
You don't?
No.
Why?
Racists, to me, hate every race. I only do not like because of the fact of situations I've been through and how I've been stabbed in the back and taken advantage of.
Michael, I understand you're thinking about joining a group, a white supremacy group like the KKK. Why?
To give myself more power, there's black extremist groups out there and black power groups, and I would not feel safe at all liking or hating because I would feel unsafe and my family would be jeopardized for that fact.
So there's safety in numbers.
Right,
that kind of thing.
Yes.
Mark, you say that you're and you gave us this quote, a proud European American.
That's right, I'm proud of my descent.
Are you a racist?
By today's society's standards, I probably am considered a racist because I have really objective views. I have objective views about all different kinds of things.
What are they?
Well, I'm probably, in a lot of ways, more conservative than Rush Limbaugh. I just don't like what's going on today. I can see what's happening in the country, and it off. I can see what's happening with the blacks. I don't like their attitude.
I think maybe we should stop here, and what we're going to do now is have our audience come in, and your family members, and let them listen to this, all right? And then we'll go on. Okay, the audience has just seen the tape of Michael and Danny and Mark explaining their feelings. What did you think about that?
Sally, I think these three guys are sick. I'm appalled, and you're white, I'm white, and you embarrass me.
Calling every black person.
Did you have any sign that he was headed in that direction?
No, we live in the country in a rural area. I've got 6 kids. All of them love everyone. None of them are racist, but him.
I'm not racist.
We live in a rural area, and our town is racist. And that's, I think, where it gets school, our neighbors. It's sickening. I hate where we live. I hate it, and I love it here. People are people. I love it. See, there's all kinds of people. Black, white, Mexican.
Wendy told our producer something I think that's very interesting. You did not even know that the KKK existed?
Well, I'd seen it on TV and read about different things in the newspaper, but I didn't really think it was real.
You didn't think it was real? You thought it was something that people make up? My goodness. Michael, do you care at all that your mother's upset by this?
Yeah, I do. I do. I mean, I love my mother, but I feel intimidated a lot of times. I live in Kansas, and I'm around a lot of blacks, and the ones that intimidate me, I feel like they're doing it because I'm white. And the reason why I was thinking about joining this group, which I don't want to say their name.
Move, and it's easier to say when you're not in the predicament to move. But where we're at, there's a place where there's a place called, the white people, so to speak, go, the black people deal their drugs. And that's just where we live. I'm not saying every black person in this audience deals drugs. I'm just saying where we live. So in that case, we have black bums that walk around. I'll take out the garbage every single night if I go to work, if I take out the garbage, if I'm going to pick up my sister. Anywhere I go, I'm approached by a black person just because of the place where we're living. And therefore, he sees it as being wrong because I've been followed by a black person. A black person has said, give me money, and I wouldn't. I would get in my car.
But if you were the same thing would
right,
happen.
exactly. And I have nothing against, I mean, I'm an interpreter for a black person. I have nothing against any race until you do me wrong.
Then what do you do when you and your husband disagree so much? Let's assume that he doesn't change. What do you do with children?
I just block it out because we're both grown adults. That's the way he feels. I can't change
But is it
him.
right to block it out? You're in college?
Yeah.
Okay, he is here because he is upset that Mark is so prejudiced. Dave, how do you feel about what you've been hearing so far?
Well, where we live, this is the way most people think. I can honestly say that I don't have a friend that doesn't show some of the views that Mark and the other guys are telling us about. It's the majority.
So when you go home, you've done a betrayal thing on your friend.
Right. I mean, I'm in the minority.
What I'd like to say it's really a shame.
That blacks and whites are never going to get along, so we should stop pretending that there can ever be racial equality. Natasha, you told our producer you really hate white people. Do you really mean that?
Yes, I do.
You do. Do you hate me because I am white?
I don't like you at all.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
Perfectly fair. That's perfectly fair, and I think that your honesty is absolutely admirable. Thank you. What has a white person, has a white person done something to you to make you? No?
No.
You just generally feel that way?
It's what I see, you know? It's like, I mean, I have heard of Malcolm X and everything and what they have talked about. And it's happening today. So, I mean, they say racist is ignorance. To me, it's intelligence because it takes a smart person to know that there will never be equality. So stop trying to fight for it and just be with your own people.
But look at the audience now. They're not all boo like they were about these.
Yeah, if
because
I don't that, you would have been yelling.
That's our problem now.
I don't agree. Number one. Let me say something. Number one, I don't agree with any of it. A person, I don't care if they haven't done anything to you, you have no reason hating somebody if they haven't done anything to you.
But the thing is, they are going to do.
What are they going to do? I want to ask a question. Wait a minute, please. Let me ask you a question.
That's the thing.
What do you want out of life?
Predicament?
Wait a minute, Precious. What do you want out of life? What do you want to be?
Listen, I already know what I'm
What are you? What are you? And you answer that?
A computer analyst.
A computer analyst.
You can't judge someone if you haven't walked a mile in the street.
Wait a minute.
I'm not judging anybody. No, I'm not judging nobody. No, you're wrong. You haven't even given me a chance to talk.
Dean, what do you think about what your niece is saying? No, this is the aunt, this is the niece.
Privacy.
Yes.
My mother right there.
Listen, this is my niece.
Talk to the mother.
Listen, this is my niece. She's my eldest niece, and I love her dearly. But she bugging. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know where this came from. You know, we grew up in the neighborhood. There was white people, there's black people. My mother had 8 kids, and she taught us to love everybody. My husband is white. I just had a baby.
There's a whole group of people who think there isn't going to be any kind of racial equality, you know, and we don't even need a Congress. What do you think about what you've heard so far?
Well, I think that we've got to be intelligent and be reasonable and rational and know that not everybody here is in the same category. First of all, Michael over here is operating out of fear, all right? He is not a hater. He's not a racist the same way that this gentleman in the plaid shirt is.
Well, but wait. His mother says he is. Now, you know, she's the mother and she's
not
very...
in the same way. Not
No?
in the same way, all right?
Wrong.
Michael is afraid. He is afraid of crime in his own community, all right? I am a victim of crime. My family has been a victim of crime. 2 of my brothers were killed, were murdered. So, Michael, anything you've experienced has not been greater than what I've experienced.
Right.
My organization...
What you've experienced, what I've experienced, you haven't experienced.
My organization, okay, fights crime. It fights black crime, it fights white crime. And crime is crime, that's right. And it's not a...
It seems that we're hearing from people who are very young and who really hate. Yet I know you think there's something more going on here. What is going on?
You know,
what makes this?
I always think there's something beneath. And there are a lot of things, Sally, that I hear. We really need to begin to do some group therapy in the few minutes we have here, because it's not about people being sick, but it's about people being wounded. And every person up here who I hear talking about being a racist is hurt. As I sat in the control room listening, all I heard was pain. I mean, I heard the name calling and the screaming, and you know that one of my beliefs is that it's so much easier to scream and fight, because that way we don't have to feel the pain. And it hurts as a white person to be afraid for your safety, and it hurts as an African American to not be valued for your brain or your beauty or the color of your skin. And so it is so much easier to scream and to accuse than to hear. One thing that, Michael said, when we were talking with Cindy and I was listening.
Well, why talk about this? Well, when there's something ugly, and hatred is ugly, what you do is you do what television does best. You shine a spotlight on it. And then everybody can see it, and perhaps it'll go away as it deserves to do. Thank you all for being our guests.